Hello everybody and welcome to NordicAngler.com YouTube channel. And today we're gonna tie one of my personal favorites, and this is one of these flies that had come and gone in my box over the last 10 years. And every time I went without it, I've missed it because it's just such an all-around pattern, and it's very nice for spooky fish, especially here in the fall, where the fish are very tricky to catch. Something like that with a lot of pulsating action, you can fish very slowly over the bottom, is very, very good. This is a very simple fly, and this is a fly that's very good for beginners. If you're new to fly tying and you just started out and you want to tie something that actually look good, contrary to just fishing with the Kobbersen or the standard patterns, this is a very nice way to go. There's a few techniques in here and a few materials that makes this a very good beginner fly. First of all, this is a lot of spey hackles in here. That's very good, and pulsating in the water is a very good fly for fishing this. And the other thing is the seal's fur. Seal fur is a very nice natural dubbing that has this quality that's, when it gets in the water, it gets almost completely transparent, and it's a very nice feature you have in your flies, and it's something I've sought after a lot in my flies over the years, and it's something I really believe is working. So anyway, let's get started. And this fly is tied on a size 6 hook. This is the light stinger from Eric's. Very good, reliable all-round hook for sea trout patterns. And we're gonna weigh this down with some eyes, some metal eyes. What is it called? Bead chain eyes, yeah. And one of the most important things when using bead chain eyes is getting a very good foundation for the eyes, because this is what's going to keep your eyes from rotating around like some sort of carousel on your fly. And the good thing about this is it's taking your thread and just winding a little thread on the hook at the start. You can actually get this to drop a super glue if you want. I'm not gonna do this now, but I do it at my own flies when it's fishing flies, because it's making this fly just last a hell of a lot longer. So I'm just gonna tie in these eyes, starting with some crossed wraps here. And then what I'm gonna do is just take the thread underneath the eyes here and just pull away. This is gonna make sure that these wraps I just made is gonna be really tight, and I'm just gonna lock this down on the hook again. And I'm gonna do this a couple of times. There we go. I'm just gonna give it just a hint of varnish here to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. There we go. And this will be completely dry when we get back to this point anyway. And I'm just gonna ride down just before the bend of the hook. And I'm gonna take my first piece of dubbing here. And the dubbing I'm using is, as I showed before, is a natural seal dubbing with just a little bit of ice dubbing, just a hint. And this color is the one that's called natural. It's a very nice all-around color for small bait fish and small shrimp and all kinds of things. And what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of dubbing and wrap it really tight, because I want a big ball here. I just want a little bit of an anchor point for my spey hackles. So just like that. Take out the excess and tie right in front. And what is also nice about this fly is kind of a waste fly, because when you bait these spey hackles, you know, there's a relatively small area of the cape that's suitable for shrimp patterns and such, but these big ones is almost never used. But flies like this, you can just pick any feather you want, because I'm just gonna take off like 30 or something of these loose hackles. Just do like this. You can use a magic tool or whatever you want, a clamp. I'm just using my fingers, like so, and just bundle them up. And don't overdo it. Don't take the fibers from a whole feather or something like this, but then it's just gonna make a collar instead. I just want a small tail here with a little bit of tapering. I'm going for approximately the length of the full size of the hook here, and just a few strays over that. Starting by tying it down with a few loose turns here. Just taking my nail and just fanning out on top, and then tie it down. Like so. And I'm just gonna take 1 or 2 fibers of ribbolized fiber, just to give it that kapow effect here in the fall and winter. Putting it on top and just bending it over, like so. The thing about flash is, and I know Daniel said this a lot of times as well, is that a little flash is very nice, but a lot of flash is not nice. Because if you overdo it, you're just gonna end up with a Christmas tree, and this is not what we want. We want a subtle effect here. Good. Now we're gonna tie in the body hackle, or the palmer hackle. I'm just gonna take one of the small feathers right in front of the cape here, because I don't want the fibers on the body hackle here to be too long. Like so. And if you want to see how far or how long these hackles are, you can always just take a test wrap around the hook here, and you can see the length. And this is fine. I'm just gonna take off the fluffy parts underneath here. Find the point of the feather and just brush back. And tie it in here, right at the tip. And just fold it over and secure it. Now we're gonna dub our body, and this is the same dubbing I used for the little ball in the back. Nothing new here. Just mix with a little bit of that ice dub. And I'm just gonna make a nice even body here. I'm not looking for a lot of tapering, because the taper gets there naturally with the length of the hackle coming towards the eye. So I'm just gonna make a flat little body here. I like it kind of sparse instead of like big and bulky, because it really highlights the hackles instead of just a lot of dubbing. Like that. Just finishing right behind the eyes, and put a little more on there. There. Always go small in the beginning, you can always add more, but it's really hard taking something out. There. Getting my hypoclamp. I'm just gonna wind this as a palmer hackle. And I'm looking for approximately 5 to 7 turns here. I'm just gonna spend the entire feather. And just finish the same part as the dubbing here. Making sure these wraps are about evenly distributed, you know, just for aesthetics, like so, and just behind the eye here. Perfect. Don't worry if you get these little fluffy guys coming with you, it's just gonna add a little bit more life. Just cut off the excess stem here. And it might look a little bit messy now, but when I add this red dubbing to the head here, it's gonna push some of these hackles back. And this is what ultimately is gonna give this tapering. So I'm just gonna take some seal's fur in fluorescent red. And this is the only part about this fly that's a little bit tricky. Covering bead eyes with something like this natural dubbing can be a little bit challenging, because it's very light and very see-through. I'm just gonna wrap it around the eyes like I did with the thread, just to make this red nose. And again, don't overdo it. If you put a lot of dubbing in here, you're not gonna be able to control it. Can't stress that enough. Like so. Just making a little bit of a taper here. And there we go. And it's supposed to be a little bit messy and a little bit all around the place, because as soon as you get into the water, it's gonna lay down. Like so. Just finish off here. This is finishing touch. I'm just gonna take my my dubbing needle here and my brush, and just gonna give it a turn here. Make sure all these hackles go the same way. You can take a little scratch, take out some of that seal stubbing underneath the hackle here. Just like this. As simple as that. And that's the finished fly. You can just take your scissors and take a few of these long reds going in front here, or you can just pull them off. Doesn't really matter. Like so. And that's the finished fly. Hope you enjoyed. If you like, subscribe. Check our website out. In the description there's a link with all the materials you can buy on our online store, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.